welcome to episode 15 of Create This Book Too by Mariah Elizabeth and Ashleigh Monet. Allah will be me. As always, my Create This Book Too playlist is going to be linked in the description. We have 3 prompts to tackle this week, but this might be kind of a busy episode. You'll see. So enough of me talking. Let's jump right in and see what I can create. So this is going to be an interesting little episode because Arrtx kindly sent me some acrylic markers to try out on today's prompts. I reviewed the bullet nib pens in my last video. If you haven't seen it, check it out because those ones rocked and I was kind of surprised. But today I'm going to be working with one of these 2 brush marker sets. And as I said in the last video, yes, the markers were gifts, but I am not being paid to say anything. I'm only giving honest opinions here. And if you're interested in either of these 2 sets, the links can be found in my description. Now let's dive in and see what's different about these 2 sets. So this one is the 60A or regular colors brush marker set. It comes with all these stickers that you need to add yourself if you want them numbered. I've heard a lot of people complain about having to do this step. To be fair, I'm not really sure why Arrtx didn't print the numbers on the markers.
Because they did on the bullet nib ones.
But I honestly don't mind doing the stickers. Like, I enjoy those kind of repetitive, easy tasks. But don't worry, I won't make you watch me do it. Let's go ahead and skip ahead. Voila, every marker is appropriately stickered. Now we got to do it all over again with the 60B or anime colors set. Everything's done stickered, but I noticed while I was stickering that these 2 sets actually have a lot of colors in common. So I'm going to pull those and show you exactly what's in each. You guys, there are 35 colors that are the same in both sets. So legitimately over half of the 2 sets are exactly the same. They are more alike than they are different. Wasn't expecting that, but at least these are good standard colors. Like either way, you're going to get the full rainbow and some neutrals. But now I guess I'll show you the colors that are unique to each set. These are the additional colors you get in the 60A regular color set. Definitely worth noting that this is the set that you would need to get if you want either the fluorescent or the metallic colors. And then there's a few random kind of muted colors as well. Now these are the additional colors you get with the 60B anime colors set. These seem to be a little more on the pastel side, definitely more neutrals and, teals. The other set has like no teal, so that's what we've got. So I swatched both of these sets off camera and already have some, notes. Let's start with set A. All of these fluorescent colors came out so streaky, like the pigments weren't mixed properly. And I shook them. I shook them as good as I can, so I don't know what's happening there. And as far as the metallics, the silver seems to have way more metallic shine than any of the others. Well, okay, maybe the gold a little bit too, but I mean, that silver is blinding. But the biggest issue I had doing these swatches was the inconsistency in marker juiciness. These are brand new, they should all be juicy, but example like this purple was nice and wet, but this blue was so dry it barely worked. Do you see how streaky it is? I'm not gonna lie, the paint quality felt different from the bullet nibs that I just reviewed. And a quick head-to-head swatch with those 2 proved I was right. The opacity is just not there with these brush markers. But let's give it a shot. Let's see how these markers do with the prompts, because I am ready to make some real art. So I need to decide which set to use for this video. I won't really have a use for fluorescent or metallic markers in these prompts, so we're going to go with set B, the anime set. I think these colors are going to work great for our prompts, but don't worry, I definitely have something special planned for set A in my next video. You're definitely going to want to see that. But let's finally jump into the prompts. Create a historical reference. Write about or draw pictures of any historical event or figure. The historical figure I chose is Cleopatra, courtesy of one of the subscriber suggestions from a few weeks ago. I'm getting through them, slowly but surely. Now, I loved this suggestion, as I've always been a Cleopatra fan. Like, you gotta appreciate any woman in a position of power back then. It was no easy feat, but she also definitely wasn't afraid to get her hands dirty. I mean, her life was messy. Everything from incest to murdering relatives to sleeping with married men to leading a fleet of army ships to suicide. Pretty wild, man. All that aside, like, she is a historical legend, the last pharaoh of Egypt, and an iconic world leader. Now, I'm sure an officer of the know-it-all police is already raging on their keyboard because the Cleopatra I'm painting is historically inaccurate. I'm not sure what led to this being the most common portrayal of Cleopatra, this gorgeous Egyptian glamazon. Was it you, Liz Taylor? But apparently there is almost no record of what Cleopatra actually looked like, and the artifacts that have been recovered, there's a coin and a bust. They depict her in a completely different way. So first off, she wasn't even Egyptian. She was of Greek lineage and just happened to have been born in Egypt. Second, it's been established that she was not the most attractive. You know, she did get around, she got some guys to fall in love with her, but apparently it was because she had this wit about her that enthralled so many. The most notable of which were, of course, Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, her baby daddies. I did discover a little bit of irony in my research. So the subscriber that suggested Cleopatra with all the cats felt like Cleopatra had a cat-like vibe to her. Well, as it turns out, there is actually written record that Cleopatra was, in fact, a crazy cat lady. Plutarch, a Greek historian and philosopher, wrote the following.
Cleopatra ordered a lavish feast, but then had the food served to her cats instead of eating it herself. She actually did place each plate before a cat, and the cats dined exceedingly well that evening, giving pleasure to her and annoyance to Antony.
That is my kind of woman. I started doing her hair, but the black acrylic marker in this set was definitely bleeding through the pages more than the others. So I decided I would just use regular acrylic paint for that at the end. Now for the cats, I chose to do a group of 3 Egyptian mows, because it is rumored that that was the breed of her cats. And they are sitting atop a pedestal, as all cats should be. I was obsessed with the brush tip on these. I mean, when it comes to details, like bullet nibs just don't cut it. You need that brush tip, and I loved this one. I feel like overall the markers were super simple to use. However, I definitely struggled with the fact that they do not blend well. They really are on the drier side of many acrylic markers that I've tried. And it's like, as soon as the paint is on the page, it's dry already. You know what, though? These will actually be great for the day I decide to do the Create This Book Challenge, where you have to move fast through the book because everything is timed, like you don't have time to sit and watch paint dry. My YouTube bestie boo, Creative Paula, just did the Create This Book Challenge live. You should go check it out if you haven't seen it yet. Bless her heart, she is so brave. I could not do the 100 minutes. When I do it, I'm gonna take longer. Anyways, back to the art. Now I can finish up her hair and also paint the background with regular acrylic. I never really include footage of me Mod Podging anymore, but I tried something different and attached that quote I read to you by Plutarch with the coat of Mod Podge that I laid down. So kind of like skipping the glue step, I thought I was being crafty. It didn't work out great, but I tried. And that's it for this one. I have no complaints with the page, and I will say I was able to get it done so much faster than normal acrylic with brushes. Like, paint markers are just great in that sense. Next up, we have Create a Makeover. Find something that could use some improvement. Give it a makeover. I chose to give a makeover to Stitch.
What?
Now, calm down. If you're freaking out right now, insisting that there is no way to improve Stitch because he's perfect just the way he is, well, I'm with you there. Just listen. Yes, Stitch is adorable, top tier level cuteness. But think about that. The other aliens went out of their way in the movie to make him seem terrifying, capable of so much destruction, a total monstrous danger to society. But look at that face. Like, who do they think they're kidding? Him just a little baby. He's harmless. I figured a makeover for him would be used to make him less appealing, to turn him into that monster experiment 626 that he was portrayed to be. Yep, I'm gonna do the thing I love to do with cute little characters.
I'm gonna creepify him.
I've got my sketch for that covered because I don't want to blow the surprise, so let's just focus on this cute, sweet version of Stitch. I was pretty much able to color match him with the markers that I have, with the exception of a dark navy blue for his claws. It's alright though, I ended up just replacing it with black for the sake of this image, and I don't think it really changed anything. Now my head was blocking the page for most of the liner, so we'll just skip ahead on that. There, Beautiful, perfect, adorable, everything Stitch should be. And now, let's destroy him with this beast. He is all of the things Stitch is not. I gave him some monstrous sharp fangs. I also wanted him to be mercilessly ripping apart poor Scrump. And made his fur look all scraggly and wiry. He required a lot of blue. Let's skip ahead on that one. And Stitch only has a dark blue patch on his back. Well, I decided to give this guy spots all over, almost like the fur equivalent of looking all warty. Now let's give him the dead eyes of a shark. And razor sharp claws. Okay, apparently it didn't record me adding liner to all of this, and I gave Scrump some stuffing and made his teeth look a little more gross. Now you see, Stitch doesn't have any juicy highlights really, but my guy is screaming for them, so it's juicy highlight time. Aw, yeah, that's my dude. I wanted to give the background a little something, so I added some flowers to Stitch's page and wrote his name, all cute. And then on my page, wrote experiment 626 and some kind of exclamation marks. I don't know. It's just filler. It don't matter. But that's it for this page. I had so much fun creepifying Stitch. I assume everyone will prefer him as he is in his cute state. But that was kind of the point. This wasn't to make him look more appealing, but rather to improve upon the representation of the evil attributes he was supposed to have. But that brings us to our final prompt. Create a colorful page. For this page, I wanted to do one of my favorite icons, Elvira. Now, if you're like, Elvira, colorful? All she wears is black. You know, there's always a story, okay? But first, I wanted to tape off the edges of my Elvira page. I actually ripped the tape in half beforehand so that my edges are gonna have a torn look to them. I'm hoping that's gonna be cool. Oh, and I learned this tip from somebody else. If you are having trouble with your washi tape sticking to the page and ripping it, just lay it out on your arm before you place it. It'll pick up a little bit of the oil off of your skin. It'll still stick to the page, and then when you pull it, it comes up clean. Works like a charm. Okay, now over to the rainbow doodle on this other page. I wanted to make that the big focus of the page. So I extended it to include all of the colors of the rainbow and added these crazy long drips. And then I added the signature, Yours Cruelly, Elvira, which I believe is the title of her book. But I thought it was cute, like signing off on a love note, not yours truly, yours cruelly. There were a few bleed-through spots that I found very distracting, so I went through and covered them all with little hearts in all of those rainbow colors. And the paint markers didn't fully cover the lines between the rainbow colors, so I decided to incorporate the lines and add these black drips between the colored drips, and I think that looks so cool. Okay, now we can get back to my Elvira story. So every year I try to find a cool new rainbow t-shirt to wear for Pride. This year, an amazing one pretty much fell into my lap because I'm just doom scrolling on Instagram and this ad popped up for a shop that sold horror-themed t-shirts, and they had a huge sale going on. I immediately dropped what I was doing, side quested, and perused their inventory, and bam, there it was. A rainbow Elvira shirt. Be still my heart. I mean, Elvira coming out had to have been one of the coolest things to happen in 2021. Freaking iconic. So with zero thought or question, I placed an order for the shirt, actually about 10 shirts because they were a great price. Nothing seemed amiss until I received my order confirmation email and it had no contact information at all, no estimated ship date, no way to track the order. Cody did the smart thing at that point and he Googled the store. Turns out it was a scam. I felt so stupid, so naive, because I've never been scammed before. And honestly, I didn't question the legitimacy of the site at all since the ad came from a trusted site like Instagram. But in more Googling, we also discovered that it's incredibly common for scammers to advertise on Instagram. And for the record, this clothing shop still does. I flag their ads whenever I see them, but apparently Instagram just doesn't care. Now, luckily, my credit card company is super chill and they have your back on stuff like this, and we were able to stop payment and get a new card. Get this though, the scam company even had the nerve to email me after reporting them, asking me to withdraw my claim against them.
We recommend that you try to resolve the issue with us to avoid negative repercussions for you. Trust us, contacting us at a random email address and getting a refund directly from us is the best solution for you. To avoid wasting your time, we recommend that you call your card issuing bank to cancel the initiated chargeback request. Can you cancel your refund request first for bank?
Oh, the audacity. So word to the wise, be wary of Instagram ads. The point is, I never got my perfect t-shirt. Using reverse image search on Google, I was able to find the legitimate store from which the scam site stole that image, but surprise, surprise, the actual shirt is out of stock. But hey, if I can't have the shirt, I can still use it for art inspiration and even tweak it to be my ideal. So that's what I did here. I saw the rainbow, thought of the Elvira shirt, and here we are. But let me say, this piece definitely went through one heck of an ugly phase. I was all kinds of cranky because I seriously doubted whether it was going to come together. But I should know by now, trust the process. The black makes everything. Ugh, I love this page so much. I love Elvira, I love the rainbow, and if I'm honest, even if I never get my shirt, at least I always have this page. And I kind of like the design better anyways. And with that, we can recap the pages from this week. We created a historical reference, painting one of the most ancient fellow cat enthusiasts, the Queen of the Nile, Cleopatra. I had so much fun with this drawing, and this new style with the Arrtx markers, I could get used to that. I really like how this page looks. We created a makeover, well, more of a make-under for the adorable Stitch, turning him into the monster that he should have been in order to spark as much fear as he did in that movie. Kind of like those drawing characters as they're described in the book, this is if Experiment 626 was drawn as he is described by the other aliens. Nice and creepy. And lastly, we created a colorful page. This page includes every color of the rainbow and features my favorite cult horror, now out and proud icon, Elvira. Am I a little annoyed this prompt didn't line up with June? Only slightly, because there's never a wrong time for a little pride. I love this one. Well, that's it for this week. I had so much fun working on these prompts. They were definitely a batch of a couple of my favorites. Now, as far as my overall view of the Arrtx brush tip paint markers, I had a lot of fun working with them. I actually think they worked really well in my book, and I know I will continue to use them a lot more often than I'm going to use the bullet nib Arrtx paint pens, just because they are better suited for that paper, and they were easy to use. So you might be seeing them a lot more on my channel. Now, as for that $1 million question, if I run out, am I gonna go and buy more? If I had to pay for them, would they be worth the money? And I'm struggling with that one because it's a maybe. And it would all be dependent on how long they last me. This may be kind of unfair to say at this point because there's no way of knowing for sure. But I do have concerns about their longevity. And that's just based solely on the fact that a couple of them straight out of the box are kind of behaving like they're already running out of paint. They are very lightweight and definitely like a more narrow barrel, which automatically makes me wonder just how much paint is actually being held in the marker. And again, maybe that's not fair of me to say because I have no way of knowing how long they will actually last. So hey, maybe if there's somebody out there that already has these paint markers and has had them for a while, can you kind of jump in the comments and just talk about your experience with them, how long you've had them, how well they've been working for you? Because I also don't want to assume the worst if they will last a long time. If I get good use out of these, I would be happy to buy them again. So if you want to give them a try for yourself, again, all of the links to them are going to be in my description. My upcoming schedule is going to be kind of crazy, so I do have a bonus video coming out this week, and that's where I'm going to use that other set of Arrtx brush markers. I'm definitely excited to try them in my next video. So I have that coming out this week. And then next week, I'm actually going camping with my family. So excited. And so I won't really be recording that week. But that's okay because I had told you guys a while back that I was working on a super big mega video. Well, it ended up being so big that I had to split it into 2 parts. So I will be airing both of those parts the week that I'm camping. So you won't be without content. We just won't have any Create This Book next week. And then when I get back, I'm going to do a week that has 2 Create This Book episodes just to get caught up. So it's kind of crazy all over the place, but you guys won't be without me. I will still be posting and a lot of exciting videos coming. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.